why is learning BJJ so freaking hard? Now, many people ask this question because the common refrain is, how long does it take to get good at BJJ? People who don't do it are like, well, yeah, if I gave it 6 months, would I be good? The answer is probably not. But why is that? There's some of us out there have been training 2 or 3 years still feeling like we suck. And so I wanted to talk a little bit more why our expectations and the complexity of BJJ can make us feel like really unmotivated and just be like, man, I'll never get good at this. And it's not true. You will, but your ability to stick at it's important. So I've got a bit of a frame for us to be able to unpack this. So I had someone say to me the other day, they always wanted to train BJJ. They're like, oh man, they're a power lifter.
Right.
Huge unit, really strong guy, and played footy. And this guy I'd be worried if this guy got any BJJ skill. He's always coming up and trying to wrestle me. Like he always, like I go to shake his hand and he tries to like grab my wrist and shit. I'm like, bro, don't play around. Like I don't play wrestle in a powerlifting gym. There's so many objects where we could injure ourselves. There's a hard floor, there's steel bars everywhere. Like I was like, if we want to go to a mat, man, I'll choke you unconscious for free, no problem. But he always comes up and kind of, you know, he loves the UFC.
Yeah.
He's like, man, I really want to do BJJ. How long would it take me to get good? I was like, bro, years. He's like, nah, I'm strong, I'm fit, I could, you know, and I'm like, I kind of, in my mind, I'm like, fuck, he's played football for like, I don't know, 5-6 years. He's strong as fuck. It probably would only take him about 12 months to destroy people.
Yeah, total menace.
Yeah, but it's not that I don't want to encourage him to do it, but I said, man, it would take you at least a year to really start to feel like really confident. And he was like, bullshit. And I tried to break it down for him and he just wasn't hearing it yet. And I was like, well, go start and then we'll fucking talk about it, right? And so I think the thing is, for most people who've never trained BJJ, they don't understand how complex it is. And so the analogy I wanted to bring today, which is, we kind of touched on it before, is the idea of learning a language. Because like when you first start learning a language, you're just learning kind of words and it's pretty hard to put it together. Have you spent a little bit of time learning a language before, Joe?
I have. Yeah, studied some Spanish, some Portuguese.
Okay. And look, I did a little bit of Portuguese learning myself. No formal classes, but a bit of Google Translate, writing out. Our friend Adam Childs actually gave me a couple lessons in Brazil.
Nice.
Try and help me out.
He is fluent. I did have a Brazilian girlfriend for a period of time, and so she was helping me. She was assisting me because she was like a Down syndrome child. Wait, your Brazilian girlfriend was a Down syndrome child?
No, sorry. She was treating me. The way she spoke to me was like she was speaking to a Down syndrome child. Short
story. When I went to Brazil to spend time with my girlfriend at the time, who was from Sao Paulo.
Yeah.
She was always reluctant to teach me Portuguese. I was naturally inquisitive because I liked, found it fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you did too. And I would always ask and I'd try to, and she never really wanted to tell me much or talk to me in it. And I'd try and get things going and it would just get shut down. And then one day she said to me, she's like, I don't want you to learn Portuguese because you're going to come to Brazil and then you're going to talk to all the Brazilian girls.
Oh,
and
protective mechanism.
How about that?
There you go.
Yeah.
It was a retention strategy.
Yes.
Keep them dumb.
Can't blame her. It was like a superpower. Anyway, go on.
But no, I learned pretty quickly. But what I found was when I was learning Portuguese, there's a big difference between learning it on the page and trying to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like people speak so fast. And
you learn all the formalities and then you realize no one talks in that way. It's like two different things.
No, and there's such a difference. And I believe this is true of BJJ. Like when you are practicing techniques or situational stuff, when it comes to live training, your partner's not letting you anything. They're not even letting you get grips.
Yeah, like closed guard armbar doesn't work all of a sudden.
But hang on, let me establish the controls I was given before. No, that's not fucking happening. So this is where there's a big disconnect between talking and fluency. Like that's a huge jump. And when I've spoken to people who've learned more than one language, they're like, yeah, it took me, generally people spend time saturating themselves. They either live in the country or they're hearing it every day or they're listening to tapes, watching watching TV shows in the language. So there is
immerse yourself.
Yeah, there's a subconscious level where it's hitting you. But if you're someone who's only practicing once or twice a week, pretty hard to get fluent, right? So if you try to have a conversation, this is my mistake. I tend to, if I find out someone's Brazilian, I tend to try and drop my 2 or 3 phrases, and they're like, "Oh man," and they just start hitting me, and I'm like, "Actually, I can't. I don't speak Portuguese. I'm so sorry."
Because there's that thing where you have had that conversation probably close to, I don't know, 1,000 times with someone, which is like, I speak a little bit of Portuguese. Yeah. Oh, did you go there? Yeah, I went there for a little while, some years ago. Oh, how'd you like it? Like, you've got this initial intro convo that you've drilled fucking heaps.
Oh, yeah.
And then as soon as it crosses outside of that, you're like, I got nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like, falo português um pouco. Entende muito, fale nada. Stop wasting money on useless sports drinks that do not help your hydration for BJJ. You know what you need? You need Sodi. Sodi is the perfect blend of sodium, potassium, and magnesium. These things are what they call electrolytes, which keeps the water in your muscles to keep them working for better rolling. Now, they have all the flavors of the rainbow. It is the chef's kiss of electrolytes. And when you use the code bulletproof15 at checkout, you go to sodi.com.au, you get 15% off. So not only do we save you money, but you also get the best product out there. Go to sodi.com.au and get it today. But that's the thing, the gap for jiu-jitsu between doing moves and the fluency of rolling, putting it together is way harder than individual situations. So, oh man, I've drilled that Kimura so many times, or whatever it might be. And then you try to do a Kimura on someone who's just thrashing around. You're like, hang on, this is so much harder. Being able to switch conversations from where is the toilet to I've had my wallet stolen and I'm trying to catch a bus, or where is the police station? Like, it's totally different. Or asking a girl out to go to the movies, totally different.
Yeah.
So I believe that part of the reason why we find BJJ so hard is no one says, hey man, you haven't even mastered talking yet. The fluency is it's gonna take a while. And then they're like, oh, and also you need to win an argument with someone. You two have an argument in Portuguese. You're like, what the fuck? That's what sparring really looks like to me. So this is my analogy, is breaking down into kind of 3. It's more complex than this, obviously. But if you can't speak the language, it will be hard for you to have a fluent conversation, which is the exchange of just working kind of live techniques and moving around with somebody who is fluent and you are not. It's a very unsatisfying experience for someone who's fluent.
Yeah.
And I think this is why
our
respective Brazilian girlfriends were like, oh, idiots. And then, now try and win an argument in that language. Oh my God.
You got no chance.
You got no chance. So if we can relate this back to people learning BJJ, for us to put the expectation on ourselves that we could, one, not
be somewhat talkative, have some kind of very beginner level conversation.
Yeah.
With someone who's fluent. Yeah. They're miles apart.
And then be like, all right, now try and win an argument with this person.
Yeah.
It's an unrealistic expectation. And I think because we've experienced early success, maybe in doing something else, we think it'll be the same for BJJ. And it's a brutal reality check.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you think about it too. Like, I remember like taking notes and studying language tapes for Portuguese, and whatever. They're like, today we're going to learn, about asking for something at the shop. And then it's like, I would like a fucking, I would like a pastry, whatever. And so you're like, I would like a pastry. How much is that? The pastry costs, and you're writing it down. You're like, man, I know how to say pastry. I know how to say how much.
My vocabulary is through the roof.
Yeah, and you come away from that lesson, you're like, I fucking got this shit dialed in.
Yeah.
And it's like when your coach is like, hey man, it's your first, here's how you do a Kimura. And then you go to the next class, here's how you do an armbar. And then it's like, here's the mount position. And you're like, bro,
I'm dangerous.
Shit dialed in,
Dana White, sign me up.
Yeah. And it's just because you don't know what you don't know. And so you're like, I'm pretty sure I know it all.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's so, and so there's a lot of friction in this time that comes where you're starting to grasp
potentially maybe some of what you don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to take you probably a decade to realize everything you don't know. But it's like, but yeah, so there is, I think despite our best intentions coming into things and trying to be realistic, you almost can't help but fool yourself about how fucking illiterate you are in this thing in the beginning.
Yeah, and look, I think having a certain amount of like naivete or like
naivete, all right, Mark Wahlberg, karate.
No, you're a bit naive, right? And that's actually good because if you actually knew how hard it was, you get totally dispirited and quit. And some folks do, right? But there's levels to that. Like the reason why I'm saying, you know, we go from just talking to fluency to arguing. Try and argue with Joseph Chen. Like that guy is like a lawyer. You know, that guy is a professional.
Are you talking about his jiu-jitsu or are you talking about his ability to argue?
I'm saying that
his jiu-jitsu.
His jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, okay.
So let's not get too mixed up with the analogy. There's levels to the game. So even if you're really good at arguing, even if you're really good at competing in jiu-jitsu, there is somebody who is so elite, they can just come through and pick your whole game apart like that. And that is even more confronting, I believe, which, you know, it's funny when you talk to someone who's never done jiu-jitsu and like, how long does it take to get good? You're like, bro, I've been doing it more than 15 years and I still am not that good. You know, it's hard to convey that to somebody who's like, surely you could just get good in like a year, right? And the complexity and the levels to the game in jiu-jitsu are so deep and broad. I don't say this to discourage anyone. I actually say this to say, you know what? If you're doing jiu-jitsu and you've been doing it 6 months and you feel like you're getting better and you're just chipping away, fuck, keep going. Like that's just the will to keep showing up and keep going and continue to suck but improve. That actually, I believe, is one of the biggest qualities in what determines who is successful. Because like, I don't think early success helps someone necessarily in BJJ. Like showing up and just smashing everybody won't help you in 2 years' time when it gets more complex. Like just being able to not be put off by how hard it is probably the most key factor in all of that.
Yeah, I'd agree.
There it is, folks. It doesn't matter if you're learning a language or you're doing BJJ, you just got to keep at it.